What's up? How's it going?
Thursday, and it's time for the Evolve live stream. I said that with a slight German accent because Gamescom's going on right now. And we had some people tweet us earlier, and they were at the Evolve booth, and it was really cool, and we missed you guys. We are there with you in spirit.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. That was kind of like a surprise. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a booth at Gamescom and all that. So it was really cool to have like some people talking about it and showing up on the floor. So that was
kind of
cool.
like that feeling when you know Goliath's around somewhere and he like sneak pounces you out of nowhere, and you're like, oh,
okay, that happened.
Goliath.
All right. Yeah, no,
just like that.
So that was cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, a lot of other crazy things have happened this week.
Yes.
A lot of silly things, a lot of fun things, and then a very serious trapper.
That kind of, if you know what I'm saying.
This is just like that.
Yeah, just like that. But yeah, no, we had Overpowered, which was our first new map variant, which was a lot of fun for us to make. And then we also had Renegade Abe, which was our first assault gun, or trapper gun assault.
Our first crossover class trapper. Trash hunter. Words.
What are they?
I'm wording, I swear. Okay. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at what a bamf. I love his belt buckle. Actually, I've got mine on today.
Oh God.
So there we go.
There you go. You wore that because
me and Renegade Abe, we are kindred spirits.
Kindred spirits.
Except I left my creepy radioactive biker face mask at home.
Everyone has one. They just kind of forget.
Yeah,
right. Like it's okay. Yeah, so that was kind of our week. We had our update 206, which had a bunch of crazy stuff with it, which was a lot of fun. Not as many crazy balance changes as before. We're kind of starting to see things settle in and taking it day by day and just seeing what's going on.
Yep.
But our focus has been tailoring these new map variants. We also had some Cataclysm changes, which was super important because we got a lot of feedback, pretty much everywhere, right? We're all seeing people talk about how they feel about Cataclysm and how they feel about Overpowered now, and then kind of figuring out where these maps are going to belong in Evolve Stage 2. And it's kind of one of those things, a lot of people, when we first talked about it, they were very or when we first launched them, oh no, these are terrible, get them out. But it's there's different experiences that every player is kind of looking for, and that's something that in the future we're going to facilitate and give everyone a place. But yeah, Overpowered is probably my favorite of the two. I know during the playtest when we first started doing it, it had a lot of crazy iterations and stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, I think to your earlier point, when we removed evac, we wanted to we've always wanted to give something to those players that maybe they want a little bit more variety than hunt, just a little bit of a different spin on things. So that's kind of what we're trying to do with these map variants, and I think that it's just something to be open to and check out and have fun with, and it's just it's not supposed to be taken super seriously. It's just get in there, have fun,
and have a good time, right?
Crazy double jetpack, whatever, bounce all over the place.
Five utility perks is a lot of fun.
Extra super Spider-Man Gorgon.
Yeah. So I guess to what you're saying about having a place for fun and stuff like that is something we actually saw, and we're now moving forward with changes. I actually just did a post on the forums, and I'm sure one of our mods can talk about it. We're actually going to be changing up where stuff in the matchmaking goes. We're basically creating a new matchmaking queue. We're renaming Hunt right now, and it'll be Arcade, right? And it'll have stuff like this, Overpowered and Cataclysm and other fun map variants that we make, and other fun game modes. If we ever get to bring back Defend, which a lot of people ask for, that would be where that kind of stuff goes, right? It's more of a quick let's have fun kind of experience. And then when we go into we're actually removing ranked as it is now, and it's going to be called Hunt Beta, or unless we change the name. And someone has a cool name that they bring up, it's that one works, but Hunt Beta is what it is.
Again, iteration, working on these things, figuring out what's the best, listening to you guys and what you want, because we do listen.
Yeah. So this is one of the things that we're first doing, and I posted this on the Reddit and on our forum. So be sure to check it out, and you can get full details. But basically, we're kind of making sure that we have a pure hunt experience for people that don't want to play the map variants and all that kind of stuff. And then hey, let's just go have some fun, right?
Exactly.
That's kind of what our goal was with the map variants, and then seeing we didn't have the space for them, right? Because there's a clear distinction between two types of players, right? And I think there is actually some strategy within Overpowered. We've been playing it a little longer than other people, and we also
I would hope so.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean,
you've been testing it and making sure it's fun.
Yeah, it was like the week of when we were building into Overpowered. Like, I remember there were days in the playtest when it was just like things were ridiculous, like painful, like games, and like I remember we had like a week where the DR on the monster was just unbearable. Like, like you actually with Wasteland Maggie, you were doing like zeros with the direct damage because it's like a percentage, right? And you can't.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, you can't see the decimal points that the damage does, and it was just like so ridiculous. it was pretty. You know, there were moments, right? But we were just kind of pushing like. The mode is supposed to make you feel overpowered, right? And I think we have like gameplay stuff.
Right, but both sides are supposed to feel overpowered.
Right.
And that's what's tricky, right?
Oh,
is making sure that you're balancing it still. So like nobody's going, oh, it feels like the monster is super horrible and I hate it. And you're just going, oh, okay, well like the monster took this buff, so like let's see if we can find this other buff to, you know, counteract that. And there's still some strategy, there's still some thinking to do, but it's also like nobody should be raging because one side feels more strong than the other.
Yeah, and I think like that was, you know, I think once we get into the gameplay that we have on Overpowered,
let's do that.
If we can get that rolling, we can start talking about like
we have a game for
Yeah,
you.
we do. We're going to be having Overpowered gameplay as well, and we'll talk like loadouts and other stuff like that, and other like fun like the design of it too, because it actually went through a lot of iterations.
There's a lot of perks.
Yeah.
And like and you've got light columns to show you where they are, which you guys will see in a second. And it's a lot, right? Like it's a lot going on. Not to mention you still have to, you know, track the monster, fight the monster. There's still stuff going on. So I think people would definitely appreciate a little bit of sort of suggestion.
Because I definitely, you know, it's been interesting for us, right? Like, because when we first like implemented this, we definitely had a perspective of like this is our goal and like this is what we want to hit. And then when we put out to players for the first time, we learn a lot about how, like, what is the reception, like, what do people like, what do they not like? And also, like, for us, because we had, like, the goal of, like, we just want to feel ridiculous, right, when we go in this mode. Because we play Hunt so much, and all that. And there you go. Got the map in the background. But we want to feel like that moment of like power, right? Because that feels really cool for us. Oh, this is actually one of the best games we recorded. Yeah, this also shows off our new UI that we have pop up every.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Every game, and also some stuff like that you got to do that's coming in next week.
You will be hearing me more, which for some of you, I know you've requested to turn off announcers, which hurts me personally a little bit every time I see that. But I get it. But you're getting more of me. So for those of you who actually like my voiceover,
you'll get more of it.
You'll have me telling you kind of the basics of how your character works. So you know, that first time you jump into a game and you're going, I saw my abilities, but I'm not totally sure. And I know some people are better at understanding things, or like in their
I'm always more of like I'd rather hear it, and plus like if you read it and then hear it, you're gonna get ideas of what you can do, right? So
it's the hope.
So yeah, it'll be cool, and it'll be detailed in the next update.
Yeah, that's next week, so you guys can tell us what you think.
Be on the lookout. So this game, I was playing Meteor Goliath, and kind of the team I was going against was Blitz, Markov, Cabot. I believe Rogue Val. I'm going to see the other two medics.
We'll see in a minute. But we've already got 2 buffs here, and they're both the same one, so you can stack multiples of the same perk, which is really cool. Yeah,
so also with my perks, right? Like I knew the style I wanted to go. I was like, all right, I'm going to go for a heavy damage, because they were running like a Cabot team. I was like, all right, I'm just going to go like, we're just going to go like crazy against one another, right? We're just going to blow each other up, and it's going to be fun.
So this is just like straight out brawl fights, like as much DPS as you possibly can from both sides.
So I also was running, like on my perks, I was running Leg Breaker, and the first slot is a monster, which is going to make it to their jump height isn't as crazy.
Okay.
So, because I know a lot of people will take the jump height buffs on this map, so I'm like, all right, that's a pretty good value perk for me.
Okay, so you just wanted to hard counter that.
Yeah, I was like, all right, okay, I'll run this to help that, and then I was running a DR perk, or damage resistance, to take a little less, and then a poison dot. Just because I know that
again, backing up that damage.
Yeah, the damage on these perks and stuff, or these buffs that I'm taking, will buff my damage on the poison.
So you just got your 3rd rapid cooldowns and damage. How can you just stack all 5 of the same
that's
perk?
Actually what I end up doing. Like I kind of like, I know where everything is placed since we've played it so much. So I was like, I had this path in my head, and also like they were kind of doing the same thing, right? They were like farming these buffs in the early game, and I'm trying to like figure out where they're at, and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to engage. But I think I actually got all 5 damage buffs before going in, which was kind of like...
Well, and what a lot of people were going to see here is that the columns of light broadcast what the perks are, which, you know, for me, I never memorize which type of wildlife goes with which perk, which is how our normal hunt works.
Yeah.
So it's always a surprise to me which perk I'm getting. I'm like, oh, this is cool. But in this mode, you have these columns of light that show red is for damage, yellow is for utility, I would guess.
Yeah.
And then blue for defense.
Yeah. So what the cool thing about this is too is it also carried over to the normal hunt mode. So it's like one of those things we developed for Overpowered, and it's like, oh yeah, this makes sense to apply to just all wildlife buffs, right? So it's another way that's, you know, these kind of things carry over in other aspects of the game. But going into this game, what I had done, since I have the rapid cooldowns, I didn't 3-point any of my abilities. I just kind of gave the 2-point spread into fire, charge, and leap smash, because I wanted to be more mobile once I got into a fight, right? Like, and the other funny thing too is within this mode, sometimes you won't have engagements at stage 1, right? Because teams are, like you can see.
So focused on just like really getting all of those perks
You can
together.
see that all of them have like their perks going.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't, like, normally in a regular hunt match, you'd be all focusing on getting that one perk that has gone down because they're so rare. In this, they clearly had a lot of strategy, and they're picking perks based on what's most appropriate for their class.
Yeah, so
which is really cool.
So Brill went for 3 defense and 2 utility, which is nice for him because it gives him like a good, you know, a lot of options.
And you're throwing every ability you have all the time because you have such rapid cooldown.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah, so like that's kind of the thing too, but also like the health bar is kind of a little hidden on this. But you can see I think I lost like
that's like a
3.5 bars of health, right? Because they had a Cabot, and like their Cabot is running 4 damage perks, which gives them a ton of capacity and reload. And they also have a Blitz Markov that is running 5 damage as well. And you can see I'm like starting to get shredded, right?
That's intense. Oh wow.
But it's like kind of both of us are going back at it, and it's just like I start noticing, okay, I need to take down the assault, especially when he's low health like that.
Right, because you can see, I mean, if you just watch your cooldowns, it's just like
it's going quick. But he also has no defense, right? So I actually think I end up getting him down right here after this charge. Yeah. And then this is where the fight keeps getting ridiculous, because they're on the ground and they have those damage buffs, so their pistols are hitting for like 20 or 30 damage a hit.
Right.
So I'm like, you can
you're
see.
Still getting really punished in here, even though, what, two of them were down?
Yeah, so I end up getting the medic down here, and then I realized my health, I have like 1 bar left. I'm like, oh god, what do I do?
And
like,
they're still doing chip damage with those pistols from the ground.
You can kind of see, like, even I'm like freaking out a bit. I'm like, oh god, do I go back? I actually end up hitting this rock, and I'm like, oh, I should go. And then
you're like, I can finish this.
Yeah, and then that this part right here was ridiculous. So I go back in there and I just can tell I won't have enough time. And then we had decided, or I decided, I was like, all right, I need to leave. So
look at that. That's like a third of a bar that you're left with.
Yeah, so this was kind of ridiculous, right? Like this game was, you know, we were both just going at it, like we're just gonna go as hard as we can against one another.
Right, and that's you know, one of the things that's so different is the pacing is completely different from Hunt because of all the new elements. So like you got that kind of like slower start because everybody's sort of preparing for battle, putting on their war paint, as it were. Yeah. And then when you get a clash, it's just like like nuclear mushroom cloud of a fight, and that's insane. And it's, I mean, great escape. Really good job getting away there to fight another day.
Somehow I didn't throw the game there, but
it was close. I was like, is this over already?
Yeah, I know, right? And so yeah, with this game mode too, like I didn't do it this game, but in the games we had captured previously, like I had gone for other perk or other buff builds. Like I saw what they were running. It's like, okay, like their assault, one of the games was running like full defense, and then or full offense, and I was running full defense. And I just spent.
Oh man.
Yeah, I ended up getting. I think I ended up getting shredded right here. I can't even remember. Like this game was just so intense, and we were going back and forth. It was a lot of fun.
If you guys are just joining us, this is the new map mode, Overpowered. I was like, mode is this new map variant. Mode.
Map mode variant thing. You know, words.
Those words in any sort of order that you would like to choose. So Cory here has been stacking huge damage perks and doing his best to do more damage to the other team than they're doing to him, but they are getting those revives off, and even though he evolved, he's back down to pretty much the same health level that you were at last time you managed to escape. So really getting away by the skin of his teeth. And we do have your stage 3 at this point, so we've got the same relay objective is still in play in this variant, and the dropship still works exactly the same as
everything
in normal hunt
is
mode.
still kind of the same. It's just like the different twist is all about the buffs, right? Like, and with me right here, like I think what I should have done is kind of gone for a little more defense, but I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna try and like. There was just like this, because we were all sitting next to each other, so we were like screaming and just having a good time. But it was part of the fun was just going at it like that, right? And so you see like the first thing I do is like, all right, I need to get the assault down just because he's, the tankiest one. He also
you see he's adapted, right?
Yeah, he also picked up a defense one, right?
Before he was just straight offense, kind of like what Cory was building, and then after getting really, really hard focused with just those like insane rapid fire abilities because you have no cooldowns. He was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and take a defense perk. That's fine. Also, for those of you just joining us, we will be talking about Renegade Abe in a little bit, but
and some new content coming as well.
And new content.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But for right now, we're really focused on the assault. Just got back up. Cory is like got shreds of health here. The dome is still down, so he's like.
Yeah, I'm like in full panic mode at this point. And then like my health, I was just starting to get drained because like they all had the damage stuff going, so they were dealing like a ton to me, right? And Cabot
feels brutal.
Yeah, Cabot in this mode is just he is super hard to go against if you don't like play around him properly. But it was kind of the games before because they ran Cabot. I ran like a defense heavy like OG Goliath, and I was able to burst through them a little bit when they were out of position.
Is there a health regen perk?
No, there's none of that.
Because we still don't have tyrants in the map.
Yeah, so I don't think we'd ever put in like a health regen buff for that one. Like I think in the normal mode, normal hunt, we'd probably reintroduce like health regen. But it's one of those like we're still a little like wishy-washy on how we feel about it, and I think like in the future we'll investigate it, right? But for right now, I don't even think there's actually armor regen on any of the monster perks or monster buffs on Overpowered. So
interesting.
So it's one of those like we didn't really push it too far because if we found that when you had a ton of armor regen, like say you're someone like Wraith, you basically would run away from the fight for a second and then bloop.
Right,
and
right since we have armor channeling in now as well. Like,
like we just didn't we didn't feel comfortable putting it in. We might in the future, but just for the time that we had, it wasn't one of those things. But do we have a badge giveaway to give away?
Do we?
Giveaway.
We're having a word hard.
A word-a-thon.
A word hard. Words are
words.
No.
But yeah, so I believe we're going to be doing that. It's going to be
this
one
guy,
of Renegade Abe's badges.
I pointed the right direction the first
it was
time.
Good. We didn't even know. It was great.
It's like I planned it. Look at how cool that is.
That's pretty cool.
That's a really
Schmuck has been killing
intense.
it with these new badges.
Yeah, that's his name, not any sort of.
Yeah, not Tom Schmuck. It's just Schmuck. That's his name. That's how it goes.
He makes these and he's awesome. I am a big fan of the E-Griffin ones. Those are really cool. And the Meteor Goliath animated little wind-up toys, the cutest thing ever. So he's been really nailing it with these. If you would like to win this badge, ! Overpowered in chat right now, and somebody will win it. I don't know how many winners we'll have, but it's cool.
So, someone's going to get it, so
show
go
off
for it.
how badass you are, and then play Renegade and...
Yeah, and we'll be, in the next segment, we're going to be talking about Renegade Abe, which, we also have a similar thing, showing what's up with how does his kit work and how does everything interact, right?
Yes.
Renegade Abe was actually one of our, craziest, crazy, intricate, right? Not crazy as in, design was so out of this world, but just, his little intricacies and stuff like that is really fun to talk about.
Yeah, well, I think with regular Abe, at least in my experience, his abilities really stand on their own. It's like you have your grenades for slowing and controlling the monster movement, you've got the tracking, and then you've got the shotgun for, shooting him in the face. Because
shooting.
But yeah, the Renegade Abe, there's some more nuance in a second. Let's see, I guess we could... I don't even know. What time is it?
What time is it?
Yeah, we could...
Time for a transition, I think.
As soon as you guys are ready.
I mean, do we have our winner yet?
Yeah, let's see if we've got a
we got to talk about gotta talk about
exclamation point overpowered should be happening. I think it's probably a little easier for you guys to spell than, what was it, bodacious?
Bodacious was pretty ridiculous to spell.
That was really funny.
Hey, TBX Gambit, you're the winner! Woo! There you go.
Congratulations, you won this badge.
You get
Look
it.
how
there
cool
you go.
it is.
That's always nice.
And you will wear that with pride, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, you have to. You actually can only use this badge for the rest of your Stage 2 career. It's actually...
Well, until we, give you a cooler one.
Oh, yeah. I don't
know.
A character coming later this month, Party Pants Parnell.
Party Pants Parnell.
He actually has, some people have talked about the badges, and, because you can kind of see previews of them a little bit, but sometimes maybe. But
also, we had Will Stevenson on the YouTube gaming.
There we go. That's awesome.
Yeah, because we have YouTube. We stream on YouTube.
Yeah, we stream to both. So,
we do.
You can watch anywhere.
Sometimes it's a little funky, but we really appreciate that you guys are there and supporting us as well.
That's awesome.
All you guys on Twitch. So,
thank you so much.
Special shout out to you and congrats. So, we've got the Renegade Abe trailer that we're going to show real quick, and then we're going to talk about him.
Woo!
So, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Just me, huh? Fine. Let's go. Everyone ready? Of course you fucking are. Activating shield! Down, boys, down! Oh, thank you very much.
So what's up, everyone?
It's true, Renegade Abe.
Yeah.
He's a thing.
Yeah, Renegade Abe is in the game now.
That date was yesterday, so you guys can be playing him now.
Well, no, it was a couple days ago.
2 days ago? I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
When I don't have my stand-up meetings because I'm here, I forget what day it is.
It's fine. You don't need to have a stand-up meeting.
No.
But yeah, Renegade Abe. We can talk about him. Are you ready to talk about Renegade Abe?
I think so. I think this is the only way we could be ready to talk about Renegade Abe.
I think I don't know how much further I can go with this.
I think my nose is getting warm.
But yeah, so Renegade Abe is one of our newest hunters, and a lot of people even saying we're definitely pushing what an adaptation means in Evolve.
Yeah.
And so.
Because I remember, I think I was in the meeting where they were like, so we're thinking of making Abe an assault, and I was like,
you what now?
I'm sorry, I think I had a stroke for a moment there. What was that? How? Why? What? How do we? What do we? What? So and then it just happened, and it all worked, and people did what they had to do to make it function properly, and it's very cool.
Yeah, so Renegade Abe, there's actually a little bit of backstory on EvolveUpdates.com on the actual update page. That Colville got to write up and give a little insight into why is Abe gone Renegade, right?
What happened?
What has led him to do this, right? Why is the world of Sheer requiring him to?
Why is he wearing ridiculous goggles?
These
are questions inquiring minds want to know.
These are actually, those are actually answered on Evolve Updates.
There you go.
So go check out the Renegade Abe page and you'll see it, right? But the cool thing about Renegade was when we got to start exploring, how do we take a kit that worked for a trapper and then turn it into an assault, right? That was a really fun process for us, and also a process that we want to do for more characters, and we are doing for more characters. I think it's kind of clear, Party Pants Parnell. If you look on the Trello board, there's a character coming that's, it's medic, and, what does that mean? Right?
I don't know if subtlety's your strong suit.
No,
Corey.
It's not. Not at all. Not at all. So, just
It's a health party. Is that a thing?
It's a health party?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was terrible. Pretend I didn't say that. Look,
there we are.
Renegade Abe. We have gameplay. So, real quick, let's. What does this stuff do?
What does this
before
stuff
we get
do?
into the nitty gritty of how one can best mush it all together?
So what I had done, we played a little bit, and we were kind of like, I wanted to show people a little bit of what we take as Renegade Abe and like what is the most effective. I took a movement. I always kind of like either go between a movement perk or like quick switch as an assault for my first perk, and then I took quick switch, which is like super vital to Renegade Abe. Like
sounds like with the way that all of his stuff works
probably
together,
like,
it's you got to keep.
Yeah, it's like the #1 perk for him. Like it's like the perk like if I don't have it, I'm gonna go nuts. Right?
Quick switch, guys.
Yeah, because basically you want to keep a rotation up, and then I ran a corrosive or acid rounds as we know them. On the third slot. That way I can, because no one else on the team was running it because they were running more defensive stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll run it, and I don't mind doing it with Renegade because I'm all about like keeping that consistent like damage going, right? Like it's not. He has the burst potential with the right click where you'll use both shells in your shot or all shells in your shotgun because there's 6. But
yeah, because it's a revolver shotgun.
Yeah, he uses all 3.
Real quick, you guys can see right here, penitence. Corrosive grenades, nerve toxin dart, and then of course he gets the assault defense matrix. So penitence is the shotgun. You can do a regular shot with the left click, or like Cory was just saying, you can shoot all 6 shells at the same time with the right click, and that's shorter range.
Yeah,
still?
so it's gonna have a bigger spread, but it's definitely a shorter range option.
Yeah, so when you're really up close and you know that you're not gonna miss. Just all over like that.
And you can also kind of see on the hands that I'm using my favorite skin for Renegade Abe, which is the Blood Eagle one. Like I have to just have, like that is just the Renegade Abe skin for me. Like I just have to have that on.
It's it's just like, it looks ferocious on everybody. Even Kyra, you're like, Kyra's not scary. Oh, yeah, Blood Eagle Kyra, I don't know, man. Like I'm not so comfortable with her. Like, please don't napalm me.
Please don't napalm me, yeah. And then I think I tried to like, I was so mad. This Armadon like turned its head like right when I was gonna do the double barrel thing. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great, and then it just turned around like, what the heck? It's the worst. But yeah, like I really like Renegade Abe. Like he's probably my favorite assault that we've actually got to do because I like the whole gunslinger style, right? Like you'll see I'm consistently like changing up like what am I using at a given time, right? And in the beginning of a fight, I start off with like the DR thing, and I get the second poison dot with the shotgun going. And
then, just for like people who maybe haven't had a chance to play him yet, are more familiar with the Trapper version, like, so the shotgun is your main damage, and then the grenades that you're throwing out a lot do not slow anymore.
No, they do not.
So the slow is actually coming out from, there's also regular Abe on this team. A little bit confusing, but you'll see that the green effect that's coming out from the corrosive grenades is doing damage over time?
Yeah, so everything in his kit does damage over time. Right?
Okay, so similar to the Wasteland Maggie treatment, but it also is a debuff? Or is that the...
So just to kind of explain, like now that the fight's over, we're gonna have a little bit of our, like, we're on the chase. This is actually one part where Renegade Abe does really well, right? Like, you'll see, like, I'm starting to drain a lot of his health just from the chase, right? Because he keeps that, like, consistent damage going, and it's just, it's great, right? Like, it's great for the chase because I was out of range and not even seeing him, and then able to do that much. So part of his kit is all about getting all those dots that we talked about up, and then making sure that you keep this consistent damage going, and then once you have those dots going, like you basically start. Like I like to start with the grenades because it's a damage reduction for the monster. So basically, like any monster ability that gets used while he's under this debuff will be reduced.
And this is the first. Like ability or kit loadout part that does that. Where it's a debuff for the monster, right? Like the only other debuffs we've done are slow, like movement speed debuff. So this actually affects the monster's damage, which is really helpful. Yeah, so it's kind of nice for Renegade. He actually fits really well in inside of a hunter team that's more defensive, right? Because then he also amplifies the damage of the team, right? With the nerve toxin dart. Right, there we go.
So we also have some of because we got shown on the stream, we have the bucket flying bug that might happen. We're actually working on a repro for it and getting towards it. So, if you guys see it, make sure you report it on the forums and help out. So
always report your bugs on the forums because we do want to fix them.
Yeah,
and it's a whole part of the QA is having to first replicate it,
Yeah.
which can be very difficult.
Yes.
Even if you're getting it all the time, sometimes it's hard for us to make the same thing happen. So any information that you guys have about bugs, always super helpful. So thank you for you guys who do report those.
Yeah.
But
So I guess getting back
Back
into
to the
this-
battle.
Yeah, back into this fight. So we kind of have a nice area for Renegade where I can keep constant vision on the monster. Just kind of keep
Ooh.
rotating. Yeah.
great vision of that rock.
Yeah,
there.
I had to block the rock though for the squad, right? Like that's my job, right? Like clearly. But you can see like what my goal is to just keep those dots going, and I'm comfortable switching between them, and then kind of getting up in the monster's face to go on the double barrel, and then jumping into a leap smash because I'm great.
You did save. Maybe there was a spotter behind
I mean,
you.
like I'm just like Puggums. I gotta block every leap smash for the team, right? Like that's my job, right?
Damn.
So yeah, like that's kind of with Renegade. You're kind of making sure to keep the debuffs on, or almost
Are you
the
gonna
most.
block this Mega Mouth too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The tyrants got removed because I stepped in them too often, right? Like that's actually why they got removed.
Yeah. Goodbye Mega Mouths. It's been fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so over the course of a fight, like I always lean more on the two debuffs, making sure those are always up, right? So I'll know, because you can see the effects on the monster, right? Like the grenade, the corrosive grenade, when it's applied, you'll see like a purple, like reddish hue, like on the monster.
Okay.
And then when you have the nerve toxin dart, you'll see the actual like damage amp, like kind of like the damage amp with Cabot. That effect will be on.
Okay.
So
That's gonna
you're
look
kind
good.
of. I don't have like the timers in my heads, but I see the effects, right? Like that's kind of what I
Yeah.
play off. And then it's like, okay, once I have those two up, then I'm focusing on like, let's get on the damage on the through penitence, right? That's actually the nickname that Abe gave it. It's not the actual, it's some crazy name, some sciencey name, but
But it's Abe, so
Yeah.
we're just lucky it doesn't have any expletives in it.
yeah, perfect, right?
Let's see. We got a question from
What is the exact
Helikaningas.
debuff?
What is the exact debuff multiplier of Renegade's grenade?
So I actually posted all of Renegade Abe's stats in the forums.
Oh, cool.
I think it's 10%, but off the top of my head, I just want to say make sure you go check out that post in there so you have the exact specific numbers. Because obviously, like, there's so many things jumbling around
Yeah,
in a
that's
day,
very
and
helpful.
I don't want to, this is actually one thing that we saw. A lot of people were really excited to see those stats. So it's like I think every new character we put out, and something like myself and Nick, now that we're getting a little more
yeah.
time in between stuff, getting
Yeah,
getting
sorry.
that all
I was
thrown out.
noticing the sort of the red damage
Yeah.
amp.
Yeah, you can see both,
effect.
right? Like that's it. There's a lot going on, but now that I have both, I'm like focusing on.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
getting-
once you called it out, it makes sense, and I can see it. And because, like, I think I played Renegade Abe early in our testing of him, and I remember having a hard time kind of figuring out, like, when I hit with the nerve toxin dart. So now it definitely is much clearer now that I know what to look
Yeah. So like that's kind of the goal, right? Is once you get those two up, then you're like, okay, I can go on the double barrel and start doing some serious damage. Like if
Yeah.
you get right in the monster and do the full blast, like you'll chunk them, right? Especially if you
Well,
get a
it's
headshot too.
And I don't know how many WoW players we have in chat, but like I'm thinking of my Warlock, where you want to put on all your all your dots first, and then you can start like chaos bolting, right? But like it's important to make sure that you're always refreshing those dot cooldowns and making
More
sure
more
that-
dots.
More dots.
More dots.
More dots.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun to run
Load
Renegade
beans.
like that, and that's like how he goes, right? It's just you focus on the dots, and it's a lot of the times a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not doing enough damage with Renegade, but a lot of it's hidden, right? Like
Right, it's subtle and it's in
Yeah.
the background, but it's great because while you're doing other things, you're still doing kind of passive damage from all of the dots if you're doing them right.
And the other great thing about Renegade that I find compared to like other assaults is I'm able to flesh out the monster really well with grenades. Like in the first engagement, I'm not going around the corner trying to like put myself out of position. I can stay back, throw the grenades, and like kind of find them, right?
That's
And-
my approach with Hyde.
Yeah. And you can see, like, I literally just swap all the time. It's like the CS scope.
But yeah, it sounds like it sounds like if maybe you're having trouble with damage with Renegade Abe, just make sure that you are really utilizing his whole kit because I don't think we ever design a character going, yeah, I mean you have 3 items, but really you're only going to use one of them. Like the whole point is for you to kind of work through that rotation, and say if you're a first-time player and you're playing Val, you're probably going to stay on that med gun a lot of the time because you're really just getting used to keeping your team up and you're healing, and that's your main focus. But as you get more comfortable, as you get more into the rotation, you're going to be switching and tranking and sniping for those weak spots and kind of keeping that all going. So I think, if you're a new player and you're just trying Renegade Abe out for the first time, I could understand like sticking with the shotgun, but you're definitely going to be losing out on a lot of that damage potential.
Yeah, like a lot of what, like if you just watch like this whole clip, like I'm rotating through everything as quickly as I can. Like it's like all down to muscle memory because I've played him for a while, and it's now like this is my comfort character, right? Like I understand like how to position myself and also keep everything going, right? Like
your
that's
hunter spirit animal.
Yes. I mean, really any double barrel like shotgun character, like anyone that knows me, I'm just like a sucker for any double barrel in a game. Like it's just, it's just how it goes. So.
I know what to get you for your birthday.
Double barrel. I mean, all right.
Let's see. We have a question from Stylo. Do the damage amplification from his dart apply to dots already applied on the monster, or just the ones applied after putting the buff? Oh, I see.
So think of it like this, right? We have a tick that happens, or a damage instance that happens before the dart is applied. That won't have the damage debuff. Then every second, a new dot appears, kind of thing like that, or damage instance.
Okay.
So basically anything after the dart, not before, right? Like it's always.
But it does apply to the damage, the dots that are already on the monster. So you're amplifying dots as well as any further direct damage. That's really cool.
Any damage, right? Like it's basically there's a thing.
It's really important to make sure it's always active.
Yeah. So part of like his whole thing is it's just a percentage increase, right? It's not like a special case you have to do something. It's increased, right? So, if you like the other cool thing about him is if you run like a pseudo damage increase team, like with like Val and Lazarus and other stuff like that. Ooh, we got a nice little 360 of.
This is really cool.
Renegade Abe going on. Yeah, so you can see like how the character looks and all the little gear. And that's Renegade Abe.
I think he really feels like visually he feels like a really different character, and I think he looks more assault-like, even though he's not wearing sort of the heavy-duty armor that some of them are, because I think it's still about mobility, and he's still like a former trapper, so he's gonna have some of that sort of essence still in there. But we see those really cool effects. I know they wanted it to kind of look very radioactive, and you see that sort of burst of the shotgun.
Yeah,
so really cool.
So the other thing too with like Renegade was when we moved him over to this is like, and part of the story with him is this is a different Abe, right? Like this is a Abe that had to, like he's in a different kind of world, right? Like we showed the Cataclysm like was a big part of Abe, right? Like that actually is why he had to be, like he has this mask on, he has these goggles, right? Like the world of Sheer is changing, and this is kind of like what he had to do to evolve, right? To fight on the map, right? Like.
Oh God, something about that close-up of his face. I just really wanted to put little googly eyes on his goggles.
Someone's gonna do it now.
I think you should. you should.
It's gonna happen.
And if you do it, post it on Twitter and tag @EvolveGame,
there you go.
You will make my day.
Yeah.
And I will be really, really thrilled. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why. I just looked at it.
Just googly eyes. I mean,
and I love, he's got these kind of, I don't know, what are those canisters? Those are his corrosive grenades.
Yeah. So unfortunately we don't have like the actual like that is the corrosive grenade in his hand thing. It's one of those things that we actually saw, and I saw it on the Reddit. Like a couple things of like feedback with Renegade was, just not having like there's like little things like both his dart and the shotgun are still like 6 shooters. I mean, in our head, like he's shooting 3 shells with each, right? Like that was how we thought about it.
And there's definitely limitations to how much we can change these models, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Like that's why it took us so long to do variants in the first place, is because we really wanted to kind of really push the design and take it further. But like changing his hat out, like sometimes that involves animation changes. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's like little things here and there, right? And it's something as we go forward in the future, it'll be something we investigate. But Renegade Abe has been one of our first. So if you guys have like any questions about Renegade Abe or just really generally anything going on right now, like we'll kind of go into. I have another loadout if you want to talk about that. I don't
definitely.
know.
I mean, I know a lot of you guys who watch our Twitch streams are very into the details, and if you want nitty gritty on Renegade, like this is the man to ask. So.
Yeah. But yeah, like I guess the one thing I guess to come away from the stream for anyone that's playing Renegade for the first time is always focus on like, you know, having a quick switch perk is like number one. Like, please do that. It's like a night and day difference playing with the quick switch, right? Reload's also another good option in the gold tier or slot 3.
Yeah, because there's only one shot in the tracking dart right before you have to reload.
But generally if you miss, like you just switch, right? Like that's kind of what.
Okay.
Right? Like you don't.
So you
don't
don't bother reloading.
Yeah.
You always do the passive background because for those of you who don't know, when you switch weapons, your inactive abilities will reload in the background while you're using that other weapon, and then you can switch back and they'll have reloaded kind of passively in the background.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, the thing that in our game is like you always want to be switching and being active, right? Like that's a thing in a lot of FPS, right?
I would classify that as a sort of higher level strat. Like it's something that I know intellectually, but like when I'm playing, a lot of the times I'll forget, and you'll see me just like, I don't know. I think a lot of times like I'll be jetpacking or something, and I try to reload while I'm going, so even if I'm not empty, like wanting to make sure that I have, all 3 of my trank darts available on Val before I reach the monster. But yeah, definitely that's a really good tip for people trying to kind of push themselves into that next level of play.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I guess that got instilled in me when I played like Doom as a kid. You're always switching, from gun to gun, like you don't keep on one, and you like, kind of that is just like, in our game is actually a vital thing, but that's a skill in like a ton of FPS games, right?
Gotcha.
So it's like a general tip for everything.
It's something that a lot of people may have been trained to do in other games, and they just need to kind of bring that into Evolve, and it'll definitely help their playstyle. Let's see, we have a question from Cryptwire who's asking why there's no Gorgon on the roadmap on Trello. Does that mean no adaptation from Miley? Also, I really wish I hadn't read that out because I hate calling her Miley.
See, it's just the curse of the prompter.
Do you want to address that?
So we don't have any like close or plans for her right now. The first 2 would be between Wraith and Bob or Behemoth, and those are the 2 that would be like the closest. I think I personally would want to do Bob first, but it just depends on like what the team can do.
Well, because we're already doing so much work on like just regular Behemoth to get him into a place where we feel good. We're also using him as the first monster to try out passives with. So there's a lot of attention on him right now, which makes it a good time to kind of put that variant spin on it. Spin. He's a ball and he rolls.
It's okay. It was a good one. I'll take it. I did use an Evolve pun, which is terrible.
Okay, there you go.
So I used that one earlier.
Excellent.
Didn't call it out, so
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's a good point, right? Like when the programming team like starts to work on something, they become familiar with it, right? Like if we said, hey, let's go do this monster now, like that's what our community wants is a new adaptation on Bob, then yeah, we go for it, right? But it's kind of figuring out like what is going to be the most cost effective, and then what's going to get out there quick, like, and what is the design for the Behemoth adaptation, right? Like what is it going to be? Like we have some ideas, but it's all
some concept, I think.
Yeah, they're pretty chilling, I gotta say. So I mean,
I got in so much trouble when someone asked me in an interview like ages ago about like the next monster, and it was before we'd announced Gorgon, and I was like, it's chilling. Because it's a spider and it creeps me the hell out. But they were like, oh, ice monster. And I was like, oh, I have unintentionally misled people.
Maybe.
But let's see, we have a question from Nadal Spitzer. Is there a chance that Aviary will come back ever? Don't need a date, just if that's a thing, because I so loved this map. Aww. That's funny because I was always because especially I think in the early days I played it a lot and I wasn't very good at tracking, so I was always on the wrong side of the dome. Like the monster would be out in the snow area, I'd be on the inside, just like, where do I go? And I think in the way the gameplay, the changes that we've made to stage 2 to make it easier to track, to make it a little bit more noob friendly, would probably make that map a little bit easier for people like myself.
Yeah, so Aviary would be actually a big undertaking. It's a huge map and has a lot of issues that would need to be fixed for stage 2. I've talked about this a little bit on the forums. I think it's on our Trello board. It's not like something that's in the queue that we're actively working on, but obviously something we want to do. I believe the first map that we've talked about redoing and kind of done some exploring on it would be Fusion Plant. Just because for us, like that was the first map that Evolve was revealed on, and it has a lot of like sentimental value for us. Like, and I think that would be the one we want to explore and go into the future with. So, but Aviary, all the maps like that, I get a ton of people saying like, we need more maps, and that's definitely something like in the future we want to get more out. It's just those.
I mean, you guys have seen how much work we did to revamp them.
They took a long time.
Really like focusing on making sure that there weren't bad collision points, decluttering everything. Like there's a lot that went into those. So it's definitely on our radar. It's on the list long term, but we got other stuff that we're trying to do right now to just kind of keep everything fun and
get it
interesting.
going. So we'll definitely let people know once we move on there.
Hillbilly Deathlord, good to see you in chat. Hi, dude. Are you watching his dot duration? I understand the idea is to keep it up throughout a fight, but I feel it's a little long given his reload speed.
I mean, we're always watching, right? Like I think that's
we're always watching.
That's part of the thing with him is we wanted that long like punish on the chase, right? Like if you're able to get all 3 dots right before a monster leaves the dome, we wanted you to be rewarded as Renegade Abe. Would we look into like how do we make that better in the future? Like yeah, sure. Like we're gonna be watching and playing. Like today, probably after the live stream, I'm just gonna go and play like some solo queue, and I just want to play Renegade Abe with other people, right? Like because I played it a lot like internally, and it's always I'll play a character differently depending on who I'm with, right? So
yeah, and I mean you play with the guys here all the time. You know them really well. You know their play styles in and out. So yeah, playing with other people is always going to feel different. Give you a different perspective, which is important.
Which is really important.
Drunken StarCraft 2. I'm guessing that's what
hey,
that stands
StarCraft 2. There we go. That's what's up.
Is that Parnell's glasses he's wearing? Because the backstory says the guys he cared for died. I haven't actually read the backstory. I've just heard snippets, but
I mean,
Parnell's glasses.
There's things that have been released in the last couple of weeks. There was a character, and why would Renegade Abe be this way?
Sounds like you guys need to check out the updates.
That's a Colville question though. I do think that we'll be having Colville come on.
Should.
Once we get.
I saw a call for more story time with.
Yeah,
Colville,
no, I definitely want to have Colville on to talk about like his. We've been actually like I'm actually going to be sending him an email after this to do like a write-up for next week and then the week following, right? Like, and the fun thing for him is he gets to like start exploring the lore of Evolve even further and kind of like why there's a character that's now an assault, right? Like why is that happening and like what timeline and like how does this kind of all intermingle and like just all the craziness. Then I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, because I think we were a little bit more obvious with the explanation in Quantum Kyra's trailer. You see her get pulled through that Wraith portal. Yeah. And that makes a little bit more sense. The Renegade Abe is a little more elusive.
Yeah, he's a little more brooding, right? Like that's kind of Renegade's thing. So yeah,
There you go.
But we do have another badge to give away.
We do have another badge to give away. And if you guys have any last minute questions before we move on,
fire them quick. At Evolve game.
Exclamation point overpowered for a badge.
Oh yes!
Guys are so
the
fast.
googly eyes.
And I love you so much. It's beautiful.
It's fantastic.
It's just what I imagined. Oh
God, if we could do that as a skin, that'd be hilarious.
That's so awesome.
We should ask about that. Like,
who did that? I want to know who posted it.
Oh my God,
That's brilliant.
We totally should do Googly Eyes Renegade. Oh my God, please.
I don't know, I might get in trouble for this, but can we give Skills the Renegade Abe badge that we're giving away just for doing that? Because she's such a rock star, and I think that earned her a badge. Just saying. But for everybody else, exclamation point overpowered. I was going to say hashtag. That's not useful.
I pointed in the wrong direction. It's fine.
Shh. I totally didn't notice. It looked like a gentle sort of like.
The windshield wiper.
Yeah, it was intentional. It was for flair.
Yes.
Yeah. So exclamation point overpowered. Get your hands on this badge, cause it's
Get
cool.
it. Get the badge.
That's cool. I got a similar color palette going on right now.
Oh.
It's sort of like.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that I didn't go, full biker today, and go like the.
I don't have any industrial goggles anymore.
Yeah, I definitely should have just busted those out because I have tons of them laying around at home.
Yeah.
Right. Like of course.
Next to your steampunk hat.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As you do.
You figure it out. But yeah, so definitely enter into the giveaway, and also thank you to everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks you guys so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. We do have more.
Yeah, we do have one
information.
final.
We're gonna show you guys this Renegade Abe trailer, Overpowered trailer, cause it's cool. Will Stevenson won already. Did he win again? Or,
no. Yeah, I see what they're saying.
Okay, so Joe M. and Will Stevenson, you guys are the winners on YouTube. Contact the mods through YouTube. They should be designated as mods. And they'll get you your badges.
Yeah.
So do that. And in the meantime, oh wait, we need to do the...
Oh yeah, we do. It's very important. I think we'll announce the winner of the badge when we get back.
Yes.
But it's a very important thing we have to do right now.
Time for a trailer cut.
A community requested transition. High five. You ready? It's very important. You ready?
Yeah.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, we're back. Your face, oh my god, that's great. That was great. Oh, it's like you're like a little kid in the class, like I just got caught texting by the teacher. You're just like,
no,
I wasn't doing anything.
I never texted in class. I don't. Did we have phones? I guess I had a phone in high school.
Oh.
God damn, I'm old.
we had phones.
Yeah. I know you're younger than me. It's okay. Anyway, news. What's news, Corey?
What's new in the news? So we actually have this weekend is going to be Overpowered weekend, which is like the craziest like.
Look at this beautiful graphic we have,
Yeah,
and I
it's
just
pretty
gestured this way because it's all the way up there, and if I try up there.
I'm just gonna.
Oh, hashtag fail.
You know, it's
okay.
fine.
It's okay.
It's fine. But yeah, so we're gonna have Overpowered weekend going on. And then what that means is there's 10 times silver key bonuses.
10 times.
And 10 times XP.
10 times.
So a little crazy, you could say.
Get in there.
A little overpowered.
Get in there.
If you will.
Yeah. We're taking this OP thing seriously.
Yeah. So the cool thing as well is you'll see, we actually just did this in this latest update, is you have like the multiplier things up on the UI saying like, hey, this event's going on, because a lot of our feedback was like, yo, is this happening? Like, I don't even know. So this, just to make it clear, it's silver keys earned like during a match, so like your round bonuses and stuff like that are going to be the ones affected, and like just the things for playing, not the like accolades and stuff, which a lot of people have been getting the new accolades, which is like our individual like character challenges, and they've been posting, they're like, hey guys, is this a bug? I just got like 8,000 keys. Like, no, we just gave new challenges that you've already done.
There you go.
But they just, now they're in the build.
Retroactively being paid for being awesome.
Yeah, think of it that way. Just raining down silver keys on everyone, right? But it's another one of those things. We just want to have fun and have people play and have a good time this weekend. And then also we'll be doing even more next week, because we're actually be doing a lot of stuff next week. Like, we're going to be having.
I mean, this is the month of sheer madness.
Yeah.
There's a sign and everything.
Yeah, there is. It's crazy, right? So next week is going to be our first co-op exclusive map variant, which is something I think at Turtle Rock we take very seriously, our co-op, right? So it'll be I'm really excited to finally like share about it, right? Because it's like something our community has asked for in a lot of ways, and it's something like, this will be like the first step, and then exploring it more and more with our community and seeing, what they like and all that is going to be a lot of fun for us, right? So.
Yeah. It's very different. Very different than any of the other stuff we've shown so far. So. Yeah,
and you can see the little teaser image right there. You literally can't see anything because it's that dark.
Is there a chill in the air?
Oh gosh. Spooky.
It's spooky.
So spooky.
Scary eyes. Whose eyes are they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We need like the
I don't feel safe.
I don't feel safe. I need to go. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
There's that. And also a slew of new updates. We already talked about your VO work that's going into anyone that's played. Like, if you haven't played a character before, you'll hear Chloe talk about him, and be like, hey, this is how to do stuff, and here's some cool things, and go for it. Right?
Yeah, it does replace the dropship. So just know that some other people might be hearing dropship conversations while you're hearing other stuff. So.
Yeah, and this doesn't last forever, right? Like, it's still a certain level, so that'll be clear in the patch notes for people that read those. And then we also have like new content coming out next week with the map, like we said, and then like skins and all that stuff, balance changes, and then
the matchmaking stuff.
The matchmaking stuff will come in 208.
Okay.
So we're getting that in like.
So that's in 2 weeks?
Yeah, so that'll be not this Tuesday, but the week following.
Okay.
And that'll be alongside. I mean, I think we can say the name. Can
It's
I?
not, I don't know if it's approved.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Party
I don't
Pants
know.
Parnell still. That's
Yeah, Party Pants Parnell. You guys are gonna be so sad when he's not like wearing a party hat or something. We should fix that quickly. Can we
maybe.
Sneak that in
So,
there.
hold on, wait. Oh yeah, AMD also will be streaming this weekend. Just got word, from my
Nice.
imaginary earpiece.
Yes. Oh, is
Yeah,
that? We don't wear those anymore because they're super uncomfortable.
So
Made
we'll
my ear
definitely
itch.
be sending some viewers or towards the AMD stream this Sunday.
Yeah,
so be on the lookout
definitely.
for that. Always cool to see
Do
people streaming from other places in the industry and having a good time and also enjoying Evolve, right? Like that's kind of the whole focus of Sheer Madness is we just want to enjoy Evolve and give our fans and our
My
communities.
giant head's in the way.
Oh,
But look,
of Renegade Abe and
times
stuff.
10 bonus weekend. Look how cool that. Look how sexy that page is.
Yeah,
Look at it.
stuff.
And if you forget what his abilities are, because we talked about them pretty fast, they're there. And look at all this. This is all about the map.
Yeah,
like,
you can click on stuff. And it
look
tells
at
you
how
what it
beautiful
does.
and interactive that is. So you can make your dream builds there and then go into the map and be like, yes, this is the one I'm looking for. And it shows you which creatures to look for too. So if you're a dope like me and can't ever retain which perk goes with which creature, you're like, oh, it's right there. Just keep that up on your phone maybe while you're playing. Just be like, yes,
you know
your
it.
own
You got
personal
it.
cheat sheet.
Yeah, so definitely be on the lookout on evolveupdates.com/sheer madness. You can see what's going on. Ooh, and that's even clickable now. Should we click it? You should click it.
Can she click it?
She totally should click it. Oh, whoa, it's dark. Who would have guessed? Wow.
You guys will get that next week.
Yeah, it'll make sense. Like, it would be really nice if we had a flashlight for that, right? Like, I mean, a flashlight would make so much sense.
It's always important. I mean, we live in earthquake country. Keeping flashlights around is it's just smart. It's just good common sense. You never know when something might shake things up.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah, no.
That
I
was,
mean,
that was
I
the,
appreciate.
that was the best.
I appreciate your support.
Anyways.
What else we got? We got anything else?
Oh yeah. On Monday, I think you're going to be joining me for this as well. So surprise!
Surprise! Yay! More streaming.
So we're going to try something different where we actually preview the week's update on a Monday. So we're going to be getting details out there. We're going to be doing our little hey, this is what we talked about. It's going to be a more focused segment. And we're going to try and get it streamed both on Twitch and YouTube. And also it'll be great because we can cut the VOD right onto YouTube from there, and it'll be exclusive, right? Like this will be information that comes out before the week, right? Like this will be
before patch notes, before anything. So if you're you need to know what's happening next in Evolve first, that's where you're gonna go for it.
Yeah. So this is part of our experimenting, right? Like we want to see if people like that style much more than this, and definitely give us your feedback, right? Like
yes,
if we want to keep doing both streams, you let us know, which one do you like more, what do you not like. But the cool thing about that is it'll be more focused. We'll talk about if there's a new character, we'll just show the character, right? That'll be it. That'll be the place to see it on Mondays, right? It'll be crazy to fit that in among everything else that goes on a Monday, but we'll figure it out. But it'll be basically a 30-minute, real quick, not going too far into things, but just showing high level, this is what's going on. That way people can start talking about it, get excited about things, and then, as we know, when the build's approved for the week, usually the updates will come out on a Tuesday, but
that's what we aim for.
Yeah.
But sometimes development happens. It's you guys, unless you've worked at a game studio, it's a whole different. It's so different than you imagine.
Yeah, but that's why we're trying to be as transparent as possible, right? Because I didn't have that perspective when I was a player, and I would ask I'd ask you and Brandon and other people I knew, I was why is this not happening? And it's this is development.
Something didn't happen right, or a computer died and it threw off this thing, or we discovered that there was a GIF of Lady Gaga somewhere in the build and it had to be removed before you know what I mean? That was totally be Shane.
Yeah.
I just look Cory more. Sneaks
God.
in at the happy birthday Mary party. We should do that. We should totally do that. Yep. I need to talk to some map people right after the stream.
Oh gosh.
Let me know in chat if you guys are supportive of this. And Mary is on the forums.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. I saw that and I read it out loud before I thought about it. But yeah, Mary's on the forums. And if you guys have ever heard Happy Birthday, Mary, it is actually for a person who is here, and she is wonderful.
And you should wish her a happy birthday.
She takes care of us
in every thread.
And makes sure that we're not. Well, I mean, we're children, but she tries to deal with that as best she can. And so she's on the forums now, so you can say hi to Mary, and she'll be there trying to help you guys out, answer your questions, and just sort of be another dev voice
there you go.
on the forums to support you guys.
So
So we're really excited about everything we've got coming up, as per usual. But you know, it's really cool, and the map variants are really neat. Like, I think, like you said earlier, it's really cool that we can use these as sort of fun, chill sandbox type experiments where we're just like, yeah, you know what, this seems like a great idea, this is really fun. And because we're kind of taking the pressure off, it's not like super serious. Then if we, in the process of iterating and discovering and playing around, find something that works better, we can incorporate it into Hunt like you guys did. And that's just better for everybody. Even if you never play Overpowered, like, you're still benefiting from that map's creation because we've taken what we've learned by just playing around and put it into the regular Hunt map. So it's really cool, and I'm really excited about everything that we're working on and what these guys are coming up with. So
it's good fun.
It's very cool.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it for us today. You know, it's been fun. So be sure to look out for any social posts and also on the forums about the Monday stream. You know, be sure to follow us if you haven't already on Twitch. That way you'll see the notification.
We have all of our social stuff.
It's social stuff. Places.
It'll appear. You can ask for a link in chat if you missed it somehow, but we're basically Evolve Game everywhere. So Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. And
you spelled my name with it. I won't even read it.
Hillbilly, you misspelled his name.
How dare you?
He's upset now. But he does say that you're too proud of it. Too proud of the Macklemore thing.
That's okay. You got to roll with it. Also, Mech with a Mouth. That's awesome. But happy birthday next Tuesday.
I saw him too.
Brandon
a
just
wild
scared
Brandon
Chloe.
appears. I don't have any Pokeballs, or I'd put him in a Pokeball for all eternity and
but also happy
make him
birthday
battle
next
people
week
for me.
on Tuesday, Mech with a Mouth. That's awesome.
What? Thanks
Right
for
there.
releasing new stuff. Yeah. Aw, happy birthday in advance, man. I'm assuming. Sorry, that was rude. Mech with a Mouth.
Whoever you are.
Happy future birthday.
Yeah, there you go. So happy birthday next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
so
think that's it for us.
I got distracted by the
By the
ambush.
scare. That was
Also a teaser.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
For next week.
Yes, that actually is.
Brandon leaping out of the darkness to terrify people.
Yeah, the next map is actually Brandon just
bastard.
leaping out and scaring people. That's all it is.
Yep. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's always wonderful to have you here. Thank you for asking us questions, and we hope we could answer them. If you have more questions, find us on Twitter, find us on the forums. Like we said, we're everywhere. And yeah, we'll see you guys on Monday.
Yeah, we will. All right, guys.
Take
have
care,
a good
everybody.
One.
Bye.
Just me, huh? Fine. Let's go. Everyone ready? Of course you fucking are. Activating shield! Down, boys, down! Oh, thank you very much.